Welcome to the Contract Management Workshop channel. We proudly present our scope of work template documents for the Silver Book EPC, Turnkey contract from the International Federation of Consulting Engineers. The 2017 edition Silver Book EPC contract consists of many documents as indicated in the overview. The contract is structured in 9 main sections as shown in A through I. It is important to understand that this sequence is the so-called order of precedence, meaning that the employer requirements have a higher order than, for example, the schedules or contractor's proposal. The scope of work should be part of the employer requirements. This can be done by making separate employer requirement documents as indicated, or making just one scope of work document with chapters which cover all the different functions and EPC disciplines. Some employers and project developers include the scope of work documents in the front-end engineering package. In this case, the scope of work documents must be listed in the front-end engineering package index. For the contract administration requirements and forms, please see our other detailed video on this channel. In the next sections, we will shortly explain and highlight the key elements of the various scope of work documents which are required for the engineering, procurement, and construction of your project. The actual scope of work document describes what the contractor has to do. So if the contract price is a fixed lump sum price, then all activities and deliverables must be specified in the scope of work. Omissions can result in a variation or claim. The scope demarcation section is very important because this determines what is in the scope and what is not in the scope of work. In this section, the employer can also describe which other project contractors will perform the other project scope elements. In Chapter 3, all the required activities, deliverables, processes, and systems per project or engineering discipline are specified. For each discipline, the detailed employer requirements are specified in a separate document. For the health, safety, and environment requirements, leadership commitment and implementation of a cultural safety program is one of the key success factors to achieve no harm to people and no harm to the environment. For the engineering requirements, design reviews and design verification as well as management of change through technical queries and deviations are key success factors together with the continuity of technical personnel. For the procurement and subcontracting requirements, it is very important to define the required plans, processes, procedures and procurement systems which the contractor shall use. Key aspects for construction are constructability reviews during design and a complete construction execution plan, including temporary facilities. Special attention shall be paid to hazardous activities such as heavy lifting, pressure testing, and chemical cleaning. A new element which shall be addressed is how to deal with social media. For commissioning and startup, first of all, the scope demarcation between the contractor and the employer shall be clearly defined to avoid any confusion. Normally, the employer, as the asset owner and operator, should conduct the startup of the facility. The tracking of testing and completion progress, including clearing of punch list items, is of key importance in this phase. For quality assurance and quality control, proactive management of non-conformity reports, defects correction, and technical queries are one of the most important activities that the contractor must perform. The contractor shall prepare and maintain a risk management plan, risk registers whereby the risk owners ensure that risk and their mitigations are identified, assessed, implemented, tracked, and reported. Defining all the interfaces with all the roles and responsibilities of the interface parties is the cornerstone for good interface management. Weekly meetings to discuss the interface items and resolve issues will enable better coordination and avoid unnecessary delays. Executing an EPC contract is all about data and information, which is created and needs to be managed by means of secure information technology which ensures business continuity. So compatibility and data transfer are very important elements. The contractor shall prepare a so-called master document register which identifies all the documents which the contractor shall prepare for the execution of the works. Together with the electronic data management system and the document review process, this is one of the most important elements for successful project and contract management. Normally, the employer obtains the building and environmental permit. The contractor shall comply with any conditions and notification requirements which are part of the permit. The contractor normally has to obtain other permits which may be required. Free issue items consist of materials, equipment, and services which are supplied free of charge to the contractor by the employer. Including a clear listing avoids that items are priced twice. Sometimes original equipment manufacturers are contracted early in the project development, and before or after EPC contract award the employer wants to nominate such supply contract to the EPC contractor. A good example is the main automation contractor. In order to prepare for a smooth transition from EPC execute phase to the operate and maintain phase, the contractor has to provide asset data, maintenance routines, spare parts, manuals, training, and startup assistance. The handover specifies how the project documentation has to be structured for handover to the employer's asset organization. This also includes all the data required for the asset management system. The completion section specifies what documents and checklists have to be submitted together with the notice of completion, and what documents are needed for the contract closeout. In the project management section, the requirements for project execution plan, meetings, reports, and work breakdown structure are defined. This is one of the most important scope of work documents because it specifies what shall be included in the monthly report. Compliance with the schedule management requirements are essential to monitor the progress, avoid or mitigate delays. A detailed program can include thousands of activities which need to be properly sequenced, resource-loaded, and linked to other activities and milestones. This requires experienced planning experts. Cost control is important for both parties and should be as transparent as possible. The contractor shall keep a close eye on the earned value in relation to invoiced amount and pending variations and claims. Any discrepancies shall be discussed in the monthly meeting. In the contract administration requirements, all the administration forms, certain notices, and tracking registers are described which both must use. For key processes such as variations and claims, also flowcharts are included in line with the contractual provisions. Please see our other detailed video which shows the content of this section. The Project Information Management System section shall describe which systems are provided by the employer and which shall be used by both parties. The key systems to be specified are the Data Management System, DMS, and the Contract Management System, CMS. Careful consideration shall be given to using a DMS also for CMS functionality. In our view, this is not preferred because contractual information and data has to follow the contractual workflows. Please see link to Aereo Systems in the video description. The contractor shall follow the so-called V model for the verification and validation of all the requirements in line with the requirement breakdown structure. To manage and demonstrate that all requirements are fulfilled, the contractor shall use so-called Requirements Management Software, RSM. Please see Aereo Systems link. The stakeholder management requirements are different for each project, especially in view of local authorities and other organizations. In this section, the key important thing is to specify which of the parties leads the communication with which stakeholder. This also includes media and emergency services. The feed package section shall describe a listing of all the documents with date and revision number, which are part of the feed package. The feed package documents are included in the Contract Master Document List, MDL, by referencing this section in the